Assalamu alaikum students. In this lesson I will discuss about cross pollination and self pollination. So on your screen you are watching the male reproductive parts, which are anthers. In anthers the pollens are present, and between these male reproductive parts you are able to observe the female reproductive part. So pollination is the transfer of pollen or pollen grains from the male reproductive parts to the female reproductive parts. If this pollination occurs between the flowers of the same plant, then it will be self-pollination. And if this pollination occurs between the flowers of the different plant but of same species, then it will be cross pollination. So here is plant number 2 and here is plant number 1. So if the transference of pollen occurs between plant number 2 and plant number 1, then this will be cross pollination. And this transfer may occur due to wind that is blowing now. Watching the stigma and the fruit that is developing. When this fruit will fully develop, then this stigma of the ovary will disappear. So development of fruit occurs after fertilization, and fertilization is the combination of male and female reproductive parts and the development after that. So now I'm showing you the bud of a pomegranate in which anthers are developing. Now just have a look at this ovary. The top portion is stigma, then style, then ovary. When the pollen grains get ripe inside these anthers, they are transferred to the stigma of this ovary. After fertilization, the ovary develops into this fruit and ovule develops into these seeds. Are you able to observe the anthers that have been dried now? And in between these anthers, this is the top portion of the ovary. Now the ovary has been developed into this fruit and ovules are developed into these seeds. So that was all about fertilization and development of fruit and seeds. Now I am showing you dandelion, which are wind pollinated flowers. When they will land on suitable site with proper conditions, they will germinate. So here you are watching dandelions. Observe the development of flower into fruit after fertilization. Now check the development of this fruit, and the floral parts are disappearing and this fruit is developing continuously. After fertilization, this fruit is developing and growing, and here the fertilization has been started. So that was all about self-pollination and cross-pollination. And cross-pollination can occur with the help of pollinators, which are honeybees. This cross-pollination may be brought about by various agencies like wind, water, bees, birds, bats and other animals including man. Now I will discuss about the features of insect pollinated flowers and wind pollinated flowers. They are generally large in size while wind pollinated flowers are generally small. They are brightly colored while wind pollinated flowers are dull in color or green in color. They produce nectar while wind pollinated flowers do not produce nectar. Floral arrangement is that the flowers face upward, while that of wind pollinated flowers they are hanging down for easy shaking. Stamens and stigmas are enclosed inside ring of petals, while stamens and stigmas are hang out of ring of petals in wind pollinated flowers. They are small in number when they are produced and they are heavy and sticky, while they are large in number when they are produced and they are light with smooth surface. Stigma is pinhead shaped with no branches, while that of wind pollinated flowers, the stigma is feathery branches for catching pollen. So here is an insect pollinated flower on the left and the wind pollinated flowers on the right. And now I will discuss about parthenocarpy. In some plants, ovaries develop into fruit without the fertilization inside their ovules. This process is known as parthenocarpy and it results in seedless fruits, for example, bananas and seedless varieties of grapes. Examples of insect pollinated flowers are buttercup, rose, sunflower, and orchid tree flowers. While examples of wind pollinated flowers are grasses, hazel, willow, and corn. So now I am showing you the seedless variety of grapes. In this variety, there are no seeds. It means that parthenocarpy has been occurred in this variety. So that was all about pollination, self-pollination, cross-pollination and fertilization. I will discuss about structure and function